I'm going to try and explain what it takes to hang off your motorcycle whilst on the track to achieve greater corner speeds and lap times. What is it about good body position that is so hard to achieve? Okay, we all want to look good in our photos and videos, but is there a point to it? If you look at race pictures over the decades, body position has slowly evolved from very upright and stiff to super agile athletic. No one asks why, we just try our hardest to look like Mark or Jorge with knee down and maybe elbow down. These guys would not do this for the sake of it. So what could be the reason, and should we copy these guys? In my view, there is a point to hanging off and planting your head down by your inside hand. When I do supermoto, I'm very aware of weight distribution and how that impacts tire grip. For me, supermoto is the genesis of good track riding. So what I have learned through hours of supermoto track riding, I try to replicate the principles on faster bikes on the faster tracks. In the supermoto turns, getting weight forwards over the front wheels seriously improves steering and means corner speed rises. The inside leg out tripod effect also works well in case front or rear tyres lose traction. In either case, stability can be maintained on the gas or front brake with the inside leg keeping you upright. The tripod is really the key to the whole hanging off idea. To turn the bike needs lean angle. Lean angle is not dependent on speed. The sharper the turn, the slower the speed. Knee down can really help stability. Stability means if tire grip fades, recovery is possible. Stability also means eyes up faster and earlier on the gas. So yeah, this is why body position matters. But more importantly, there are material gains to making the effort to make it a normal part of your track riding. How to hang off effectively is probably a personal journey of overcoming fear more than enjoying the results. But I can tell you now, there are ways to make it far easier, happen quicker, and less scary, whilst also capturing the benefits. Down the straight on a bike, you can plant your backside in the centre of the seat, chest on the tank, head behind the bubble, and hands light on the grips. Okay, now you have to admit you have never had your chest properly on the tank, head behind the bubble, and hands light on the grips. No problem, it will come. You probably actually sit quite upright. In the turn, at best, you probably keep your head above the tank and desperately extend your knee out till it hurts, hoping it will somehow touch down and christen those very old but still very new looking knee sliders. Reality is never going to happen with your technique. In fact, what probably will happen is you will head off into the gravel to practice your motocross skills because you ran out of corner. So the truth is, your bike actually needs you to position your body weight to optimize gravity, balance, and stability. That means no air gaps between you and the bike. So back to the chest on the tank, head behind the bubble, and hands light on the grips drill I mentioned earlier. As the corner approaches, you need the left foot to change some gears. You should know which gear for each corner apex. So, if you're in 6 and need second for the corner apex, it's clutch in, go down 4 gears, as fast as it takes to say 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. Then dump the clutch. Balls of your feet on the foot pegs and chest on the tank. Chest on the tank. Lift the head and use the force of braking to move your head across to the right hand, trying to keep your head as low as possible without lifting. Your chest has also just rolled from the middle of the tank to the right. Still no air gaps. The minimization of lifting the head is absolutely key, as your head weighs 5 to 6 kilos, and on the end of your spine, it acts like a pendulum. So you have to take advantage of that pendulum effect as a lever to make the bike lean over. Remember, bike wheels have gyroscopic forces. They need a force to make them lean. That force is you and your head pendulum. Also remember what I said about supermoto. The weight over the front wheel for better steering. That 5 kilos extended out front is applying serious weight force to that front wheel. Change your throttle grip to tennis racket or screwdriver handle if you like. This will help you to use your right elbow as a damper for the mass of your upper body. It also means you have amazingly refined throttle control for when adding gas. That braking force should also help you lift your backside from the back of the seat and move so far to the inside that only the outside half of your opposite butt cheek remains on the saddle. The inside of your outer thigh is now the anchor point on the left side of the tank, absorbing brake force and keeping your head inside the turn and near your inside hand. You should feel stability at this crucial point of the turn, allowing you to relax whilst leant over and use your eyes. Putting your elbow down on your knee ensures great hanging off posture and guaranteed knee down. Try this on your bike at home. I bet it is further than you have ever hung off before and you never had your chest flat on the tank. Now your knee can only fold out, but give it some help by pointing your toes out and pulling the heel up the side of the chassis. Eyes are now staring up to look as far up the track as possible and never at the ground on the apex. If you don't look up the track and you do look at the ground, your brain will be scared by the fast passing, very close tarmac, stopping you winding open the gas. Okay, a lot going on here, and timing is quite important to get your technique right. 60 degrees is about the right bike lean angle. At that angle, your knee should drag across the apex. This is like my supermoto leg dangle. The contact with the ground makes you feel stable, so an actual advantage. Once you have a decent technique, the bike will feel so much more stable. You will be going faster at the apex and get on the gas earlier. If you eyes up and look into the distance, you will instinctively want to go for that far point in the distance, so naturally you will add gas. You might also stand a chance of saving a slide with the tripod knee. Okay, now you have to get back in the seat for the exit and the gas. I like to add gas as soon as I can. If I feel a slide, I know my gas timing is about right. I maintain my hang off, but stand the bike up first to use the bigger tyre radius that in itself adds speed, reduces wheel spin because the revs don't rise so fast, and improves grip on the centre of the tyre. When the lean angle is reducing, use the rearward force of the acceleration to slip back in the seat to the bump stop. Chest and head slide back across the tank, still no air gaps. Try not to forget to use the braking force and acceleration force to assist you in your hanging off transition. This will save you energy, feel seamless, and be very, very sympathetic to the bike physics. So, that is why, in my opinion, proper riders hang off. It is a performance advantage as much as anything, and I know it can be learnt by practicing the technique on the stands in the garage, then replicated on track, without that terrible fear and rigid body position that ensures you will never get your knee down. Thanks for listening, good luck, and let me know how you get on.